Alright, we're back. So I have checked the guide, and unfortunately the hint system is only for testimonies. So I've just been given the answer here. It's Mr. Polly's position, and this baffles me. This honestly baffles me. It's saying to point to the empty space outside of the tower. This spot, maybe? Please tell me your finger slipped. Even you cannot possibly be this inept. What you're pointing at is clearly not a real location on this floor. You mentioned something about expanding our horizons earlier. Well, I'll be so free and do just that, using basic logic. If any gunshot on this floor would have been heard on the whole floor, then conversely, if a gunshot was not heard on this floor, it must have happened somewhere else. That's right, Mr. Polly heard this shot while not even being on this floor. I wanted to say that... well, actually, no. Well, I wanted to say that something happened on the lower floor, but this implies that something happened outside the tower, right? Because pointing outside the tower. Whatever. So in this video, I do want to complete Act 2, and I didn't look enough to see what the answers would be, but I did manage to catch a glance of Investigation 3. So, amazingly, we still have a ways to go on Act 2, which good news for this video because it means it will be too short, but I want to get through it because I literally can't save, and I haven't been able to save for ages now. It's insane. Insane! This part has lasted so long, especially since there are so many other parts as well. But we'll get through this. What in the world, Miss Juice? You heard what I said, John. After the first gunshot, Mr. Polly managed to get totally out of bounds. That's when he heard a second gunshot, the sound of which did not reach us here. Your mind is the only thing that has clearly gone out of bounds. We are currently trapped on this floor, in case you forgot. With the elevator locked, there are precisely 0 ways for him to leave this floor. There has to be another way out. Nonsense! We are high up in a tower, and the windows can't be opened. Let's take this step by step. Allow me to recreate Mr. Polly's route out of this building. We know he was still with 2 of the guests when everyone heard the first shot. After they started moving, however, he went into the display room to the side. I believe I pointed out earlier why this is likely. The suitcase supports it. And that is unquestionably the end of this so-called path. There's nowhere to go from that room except back into the hallway. What if I suggested there was another exit? Then you would have gone fully delusional. Tell me, Aurelia, and really try using your eyes here. Do you see any other exits here that Mr. Polly could have taken? Do I see any? No, because the curtain's covering it up. Well, is this one of them trick questions? Where I was so sick. I'll just try saying, well, no, there are obviously no openings I can see here. Good, so you're not like completely blinded by irrationality. You evidently already examined that room in detail. Which means you know full well there's no other exit. I disagree. I disagree completely. Just because I can't see an exit doesn't rule out its existence. Because we were talking about the curtain, we weren't able to look and see what was behind it. This is your next obnoxious plan, claiming there's a secret passage? Profoundly unacceptable. I do hope you're prepared to point out where this exit might be hidden. Sure, absolutely no problem. There's an obvious part of this room that might conceal a hidden opening. So it actually comes down to this. I hope your intuition was right, Lillian. Both my life and dinner are on the line here. It's true that I examined the room, but there was one spot I wasn't able to check. I was prevented from pulling back this curtain on the rightmost window pane. Unless we look at what's behind it, we cannot know for sure there was no exit. Your delaying tactics are becoming transparent. Do you really think the window was missing? Then what? Did the witness jump to his death? He climbed the tower. His testimony may have been a farce, but we can grant that he was both alive and moderately rational. Point out all you want why you think it's unlikely. Fact of the matter is, checking the window is the fastest way to settle this argument.
The motion to perform this check is granted, since it will only take a minute. If it turns out there is nothing there, I do hope the defendant will see that there is no exit.
I understand. Well, moment of truth. A hole. A hole in the wall where the man can see it all. If I may summarize in objective terms, we discovered that a circular hole has been cut into the window. There also appears to be a suspended platform outside. One of the kind of window cleaner may use on very tall buildings.
Then, there actually was a way for Mr. Polly to...
I'd say those are some pretty clear results. The witness went straight through the window. This is insanity. It cannot be real. But so what? So this witness went outside and heard a shot in the distance. It cannot possibly be relevant to our case then. Now we shift from impossible to irrelevant, I say. Let's talk about two things here. So Polly assumed I fired the shot. If it was somewhere in the distance, that makes no sense. And don't you think it's highly concerning what the witness was up to in the first place? How can any of this be relevant to the case? How can one of the key witnesses in this case, suspending himself out of a window, be at all relevant? Come on, this is clearly a distraction that has no relevance. Can you just shut up, please? You proved the shot couldn't have even happened on this floor. There's no way it found its way into the locked room.
It seems a little hard to simply dismiss this hole in the window, Mr. Preston. At the very least, I'd like an explanation from the witness for that.
Yeah, you've been awfully quiet for a while now, Mr. Pope. Don't think we forgot. This is all still about you. Care to comment on any of this? I really need to leave right now, so...
That's my damn property you're cutting holes into, buddy. So that is how it is, lad. How disappointing. Couldn't win at the auction fair and square, so you turned to a cat burglar?
No. You've got it all wrong.
You better start singing right now.
So I didn't. That wasn't me. The whole, I mean, it was already like that when I got there. You finally admit to going into that room at least. Was I right then? You heard the gunshot while outside the building? Yes, I admit it. I heard two gunshots. Nobody else was mentioning it, so... Well, I guess you really didn't hear it.
Witness, can you tell where this gunshot was coming from?
It came from behind me, inside the building. But if nobody has heard it, then it must have been fired on the floor below this one.
I was under the impression this is the only floor.
There's another floor below this, according to my client. It's absolutely impossible anyone was there, however. The elevator was configured not to stop at that floor. No, but somebody was in there. Why are you so sure of this? Because I saw him. I saw that man inside the floor.
Order! You saw a man on the floor below this one?
Is it going to be our undercover man himself?
Around the time of the crime?
There's simply, categorically, no way you saw anyone on the floor. You said that about the gunshot he mentioned too. And look where we are now. Who did you see, Mr. Pope? Who was on the inaccessible floor? I thought I must have imagined it at first. And maybe it would have been better to keep this to myself, but... the man I saw on the lower floor was... Oh, he's going to say family. But I think that's him anyway, so... the one saying in my eyes. It was... delete that. The Reaper. You don't mean family, the murderer who used to live here? That's... there's no way. That can't be right. For once, Aurelia is correct. This is beyond absurd.
Are you sure about this witness? Mr. Lead has been dead for about 5 years.
His body was never officially found, but... no, I refuse to believe this. He can't still be alive. You were definitely mistaken with us. Well, I don't know how likely that is.
Not only do you sneak off into places that aren't your business, not only do you cut holes into my goddamn property, now you join in on this ghost plot. Do you want me to never manage to rent out this joint again? I've had it, you backstabbing wretch! This funny to you? Well, let me join in on the entertainment.
Sir, no, Mr. Nelland, I never meant to...
What a good time there, Badly. I'll show you a good time.
Ah!
Get back here, you little punk. I just want to talk. I'm willing to set the auction off a limb or two and we're good.
I like how he's just...
This is a good show of violence. My lads! So this is it. Next big crash is coming. Not bad, lasses. Now I should drag out this trial until I died of old age. It takes some skill to stay rational for long in the stock market.
The hitman is here, there's no joke, right? It's the Reaper's curse. The bearded fellow's right.
But the lead ghost is mad because he wants to steal our possessions. Order! Order! He's going to kill us all.
Let us out of here, stop this pointless trial and let us leave. It was impossible to restore order, so the trial was temporarily suspended. The fact that I was the one on trial took a backseat to the disturbing revelation by the witness, the Reaper. He couldn't possibly still be alive, could he? That thought alone twisted my gut and made me care for the decision to overcome to the tower. And he planned it all as revenge. Maybe. Bloodstain discarded. April 4th, 10:26 p.m. The Lighthouse of Lunacy. So how long has it been since the murder? So the murder happened at 7, which was 3 hours, 26 minutes ago now. Or 3 to 4 hours ago. Yeah. There you are. That sure was a trial. I'll say that again. Can't believe I survived. I didn't quite finish the sentence, so I don't know, buy gold? Anyway. I'll just end that sentence there. Not only is it hard to even put a dent in the facts, Victoria smelled blood and is pulling off all the stops. Usually only take a little push back to trip her up, but I can barely manage that here. Can I go back to my dentist? That was less painful than this. Hey, it worked out so far. You found some alternate explanations for some things. And that witness testimony at the end is going to throw them for a loop. Still want to know what he was doing on that suspended platform. Is he like, oh, I just heard someone get shot, so I'm going to try and jump out the window? Or, doesn't really make sense. I'll eventually realise they can easily call that... Right! They can easily call that irrelevant to right purpose. Right race. Oh, zoink, Scoop. Sorry about that. That was a painful impression. I'll look for traps. This case is as strong as ever. I couldn't actually contradict the witnesses substantially. Is that what you think? By the way, you look pretty shaken by that revelation at the end. Don't tell me you started believing in curses. I mean, we're talking about the man I completely exposed as a criminal. I don't want to think about what he might do if he's still around. Gotta be careful what I say here. Right, I guess he'd have every reason to take revenge on you. Even though you simply expose the truth. People really are unreasonable sometimes. They sure are. Speaking of that, there's something else from the trial I wanted to discuss. Serves you right, old crow. You didn't say that. But doesn't that mean the TV theory is actually correct? I guess it has to be. What's the issue with that? You should know the issue. Was the TV actually on? Do you remember? I was occupied struggling with the manager. I couldn't really tell. Fine, but did you really fire your gun or not? Well, it's hard to tell during a struggle, but it's the only explanation that makes sense. Really? It's hard to say whether you fired a gun? Then isn't it plausible that the gunshot only got played on TV, like you theorized? The victim wouldn't have collapsed if I didn't fire. At least consider it. Why do you want it to be self-defense so badly? Because the alternative can only mean one thing. Sometimes a lie is better than the truth. Only if you can keep believing the lie. I'm sorry if it makes you upset, but this is for the best. You happily exposed Mr. Poley's lies despite the consequences he suffered for it. Okay, I really had no choice there. Let's stay fair. I had to keep the trial going with something. Well, you sure looked like you were enjoying yourself, though. Could it be because deep down you actually knew it was the right thing to do? Just try to think about it. I was enjoying it? No, I can't be right. In the end, his acquaintances lost trust in him. Nobody walked away from that a happier person. There must have been a better possible outcome than whatever just cold justice the truth gave us here. He didn't used to think like that. Please don't bring up anything embarrassing. Might have said some naive stuff back then. It wasn't naive, but whatever. Seems like we need to talk some more about this sometime. I get it. Gotta use this time to investigate more. Almost like you can freeze time and we have enough time to do anything. About that, I'm not allowed to leave this room anymore. Seems the plaintiff have presence of mind to have me put under house arrest this time. I guess the case against you is a bit too solid now for them to forget again. Well, it's up to me then, isn't it? I'm counting on you. $1 million? I'm sorry. I said a few careless things. Don't want to make excuses, but the pressure must be getting to me. Right, I get that. Humans lie. I understood that very early on in my life. I'm not upset. It's nothing, don't worry. Pretty selfish lies, well-meaning white lies. Oh, petty selfish lies, well-meaning white lies. Rarely a day goes by in which people don't coat their words in some falsehood. Listen, I've never lied a day in my life, you can trust me on that. Somehow, I've always been very good at telling. It was pretty fun as a kid. I was considered a bright child. Of course, things became more complicated. When people get older, they begin having secrets. Mistakes, embarrassing things, trauma, stuff they'd rather keep to themselves. So everyone hides those things, with lies. They probably began feeling threatened by me. There was a chance I might see through their lies, bearing all their vulnerabilities. And so, my friends stopped being themselves around me. They put up extra walls, always careful what they're talking about. When that got too exhausting, they started avoiding me entirely. This couldn't continue though. This couldn't continue, I thought. I had to adjust. It was my turn to have secrets. When they lied about being fine, I acted happy and relieved. When they cried and told me a biased story of how they were wrong, I pretended to empathize. That's what I had to do, I thought. In order to be accepted by the world, I had to accept its lies. But that was wrong too. I didn't really get rid of the walls that way. The only thing that changed was who put them up. And so it was my turn to feel exhausted. And so it was my turn to start avoiding people. I buried myself in fiction. When it comes to written characters, I can't use my intuition to tell if they're lying or not. Most people read fiction to see something special compared to their everyday lives. Ironically, I was reading it to understand what it's like to be normal. Detective fiction was among my favourites because it usually featured the most liars. I would have thought this would lead to an uneventful life. Yet I still managed to get into trouble from time to time. Which brings me to a day in the school library. I don't know if I should be doing this cheerful voice for her right now, but it's the voice I gave her.
Huh? What did you say?
I said I didn't steal the librarian's bag. It was you.
Get over this chick, guys. Yeah, you're the one who's checked into this place. You're the only who was checked into this place. I'm trying to pin the blame on others.
You're lying.
Oh yeah? Where's your proof?
My proof is that you're lying right now.
There she goes again, randomly calling people liars. Not cool. You're projecting or something?
Hey there, would you be interested in participating in...
Get lost! Can't you see we're in the middle of something?
Now, listen here, buddy. I was going to offer you a chance to earn some honest money. You should try it sometime. It pays much better than petty theft.
The hell?
Please calm down, everyone. I probably misplaced my bag of tone. Let's stop this blame game. Stop. I know you want to avoid conflict, but nothing good will come out of settling for a convenient lie. That wouldn't teach this guy his lesson. Why are you so sure that if you simply misplaced your bag, why would your missing credit card suddenly be used to pay $300? How do you know about that? I heard you mention your lost bag at the cafeteria. You said you had to buy less because you had a bit of cash inside it. But that's strange, because earlier you mentioned to the professors that you pay with card for everything these days. You don't even carry around money anymore. You're correct, but did I really mention that? It was a couple months ago. I guess you forgot. Remember something like that? Who is this?
No, they got nothing to do with me, sis. It's just like I said. That girl's the only one who could have done it. You got any actual proof? Or you're siding with her because she's a chick?
You idiot. This is a school library, not Fort Knox. There's a ton of ways someone dedicated could have entered without checking in. Especially if it's a desperate punk who thinks his girlfriend will leave him if he can't afford a $300 dinner.
The hell? What are you talking about?
Oh please, from day one you've been joking about how it's time to be a broke single student. Only recently did you drop the single part when complaining to your friends. It's that cyan-haired girl, isn't it? I remember her from my sociology lecture.
Got no idea what you're going on about.
Come now, I think her name was Rose? That's a reference and a half. If you're at all familiar with Ace Attorney Online.
the sort of community around it. She's really wasting her effort on her eyes, seeing as how you can certainly never look at those. She started swooning about this new guy she met. Apparently took her out for dinner the other day. Just around the same time you suddenly changed your tone. Curious, no? What the shit? You been spying on us or something? Ain't none of your business. And this hasn't proved none. You realise when you just check the payment record of the card? I wonder what your girlfriend will think about you doing this. Huh? Wait, don't you dare. That depends on you, buddy. I might reconsider you, Yukon Queen. Fine, so I borrowed it. I had no choice, okay? This was the one shot I had with it. Borrowed, huh? That means you're going to pay it back, right? The hell? You're going to pay it back, right? Or should we go report this? Of course, always meant to. You were saying something about some job? Forget it. Figure it out yourself. Fine. As long as you don't tell my girl. Honestly, I'm going to tell her anyway. You thought I would just cover up your crimes to be more convenient? She deserves better than getting tricked by a punk like you. Ah! I remember this. Oh my god. Listen, we thought it was Dan Lead. We thought he had done all of this. Set it up so that Aurelia suffer. But this student, he remembered this day, and he planned everything. He set this whole thing up in the tower because he knew it would be the best way to hit her the most. We have our suspect. If only we knew his name. We only knew him as a student. Thank you for your help. That was... Who are you? Don't mind it. Just some student who happened to pass by. Your name! Tell me now! Aurelia. Aurelia? That just now was... Yo! That was totally awesome, Aurelia! You were just like a detective. Oh my god, you showed him! Thank you? That's more enthusiasm than I expected, but never mind. You need to tell me how you did that! Alright. Nice to meet you. Let's go! Don't tear off my hand if you can help it. You can tell if someone is lying. I want to explain when I walked in on earlier, I guess. I won't lie then. That's kinda hard to believe. How does that work? Intuition? I wish I could explain it. A lot of people think they're good at spotting lies, but, well, when it comes to really good liars, there aren't really many tells. There really aren't many tells. They've trained their brains to the extent that even a polygraph can't pick up on anything. Well, they must still be giving off some signs. I'm right at least 90% of the time. The guy earlier did seem like a chronic liar, so who knows? Maybe you do actually have superpowers. You called me a detective, but with something like that, you sound more than you cut off from the job. Well, you saw what happened. I was trying to clear suspicion from me by finding the real thief, but fair enough. You obviously can't just walk up to people and accuse them like that. You need to actually sell it. I get that, but it's hard to do that. Like, when you don't know who did it, you can focus on where the clues lead you. But I can already tell someone's lying, so it's hard to make the effort to go look for proof. Okay, that's definitely a unique problem. Like someone who's used cheats for so long they never learned how to play the game properly. Geez, thanks for calling it cheating. Well, if I didn't say my honest opinion, you'd probably be able to tell, no? True.
maybe you're right. It's not that much effort to call out laughs. Whatever you did back there looked much more amazing. How do you remember random conversations from months ago and put them together like that? Do you have that thing? That special brain condition? Careful how you ask that. I don't have an eidetic memory or anything. That was nothing special, really. Just the result of a memory training trick someone taught me. It works pretty well with random offhand stuff people mention. I can recall those pretty easily for a couple months. Nothing amazing, she says. Who recalls stuff like that? I think you'd be an amazing detective. Well, I won't lie. I've thought about seeing how I'd do with something like that. Putting the pieces together, exposing the truth. That sounds pretty fun. Exposing the truth? Are you really going to tell that girl, by the way? Whenever I've tried to tell people that someone they care for is being dishonest to them, well, it can feel like I'm just invading someone's happiness. Doesn't really seem that fun. In mystery novels, it's always treated as the right thing to reveal the truth, but it can be painful to remove a band-aid, but it's common sense to do it. It'll be much more of a jerk movement to let them know. I'd be happier in that moment, but they'll keep living in a car house. It can come crumbling down at any time. The longer it takes, the more painful the crash. Only the real facts allow you to stand on solid ground. It's totally justified to hold them to the truth. Well, your kind of intuition might come with some extra responsibility. But as long as you're not a random jerk to people, you should be good. Is everything alright? I just got something in my eye. No, I don't have your magical intuition, but that doesn't sound right. Fine, I guess I found your words moving. Anyway, I've decided. Let's do it. Let's do what? Solve crimes together. We're going to teach this campus to fear our name. I'd be lying if I said that didn't sound interesting. What name should they fear, though? Huh? Our name? Our names? See, as I've said earlier, if you really want to convince anyone of anything, you need to sell it. Having a bit of branding will go a long way. And to be honest, I feel like giving our new friendship a name will give it a special meaning. It's purely a psychological trick, but... you're right. We use some type of team name to seal this deal. How about... Aurelian? Just putting our names together. I don't know about that. That could be misunderstood. You know, someone might think that we're supposed to be shipped together and that we're wife and wife. But that's never going to happen. You can just tell me you think it's cringe. Your turn to suggest something there. Maybe something more in line with our purpose, like keepers of law and order. That's just dull. I'm admittedly not that great at coming up with catchy stuff. You're giving me an idea, though. The Queens of Crime. How's that? Oh, let's got some nice spice to it. Almost implies we're part of the underground ourselves. Then it's decided. The Queens of Crime are officially let loose. I'll explain where I got that name from later. For Aurelia, this was just another day she barely remembers now. But for me, it's a really important memory. I finally met someone who I could be myself around. She also inspired me not to hide my true potential. Admittedly, I still kept getting into trouble with my newfound motivation. But that seemed fine now. I cared too much about making the world accept me when that should never have been the point. So when did it all go wrong? I can't really say whether she put it up or if I put it up myself, but it feels like there's now a wall between us now that wasn't there before. I know. I've learned that everyone has some private stuff that you shouldn't pry into. But the cynical way she talks about the truth now, I can't help but worry. My important memory. I don't want to believe the words you said back then meant nothing. There has to be a way to work this out. Oh, back in the courtroom.
Excuse me, madam.
Ah, what?
Still alive there. You've been spacing off for quite a while.
So you've just been staring at me, huh?
I mean, sometimes there's nothing else to do with my job. Well, I'm sorry to break it to you, but your friend is kind of boned. Even this ghost sign will only buy you so much time.
Tell me something more. You might actually have some info on that, I promise. You believe it's a real ghost? All this curse talk and now this? It's getting pretty spooky.
Don't you be scared, man. Ghosts and magic, that's purely fantasy. There's always a rational explanation.
It's kind of tempting to show him this, but it'd be bad if it made him pass out. Still, there's a chance the infamous Dr. Lead is down there in the flesh, isn't there?
I can promise you that's totally impossible. Between us, I'm up next in the stand to prove exactly that.
Oh, you're the next witness?
That's right, and I'm sorry to say that, but my testimony is absolutely full. It will be a nail in your friend's coffin. Sorry, just doing my job.
Nice, the next testimony will be a breather. I don't buy it. How can you dismiss what Mr. Poley saw?
Well, I'm not really supposed to tell you this, but it's simple logic, really. Person in, person out. This tower has only one entrance, and yours truly is constantly watching. So, with simple logic, because of locks, it's easy to tell how many people are inside the moment. If someone fishy entered this building and they never left it again, I'd know about it. As for the people who came here today, my head count before the trial pretty much rules out any of them were lurking down.
Oh, that's smart.
Is it just me, or are you being nicer than before?
Totally just you. Too obvious. Gotta tone it back. How long have you been working here, by the way?
I know what you're trying to play. You think there's still a chance that dude was hiding on the floor for a very long time, huh? Well, that's nonsense. You need a lot of water and food. And I never saw anyone bring that many supplies.
You're forgetting one thing. How long has the lead case been?
4 years.
The floor could already be stocked up with food like a bunch.
I guess that's not true.
We're going to erase that option before the trial resumes. Wow, look at who it is. Our elusive plaintiff.
Bosh! I didn't reveal anything, I swear.
It's alright, the odds were poor on that, so I never bet on you. Our chances of winning are so high that it doesn't matter if that woman learns of our plan anyway. Looks like she's willing to stick around now that Aurelia isn't here. It's my chance to figure out what's really going on with this trial. I mustn't screw this up. Now time to examine stuff. Oh. Hey! Hi! Don't be like that! Leave. There's no worthwhile discussion to be had with you. Come on, why should Aurelia get all the fun? Let me get a word in, huh? Aurelia is at least capable of sophistry and decidedly like any imaginable coherence. I get that it's not always easy to keep up, but don't you sometimes feel it's a shame we've never gotten along? We're the only ones who actually read all the mystery novels. It'd be nice to discuss some of the more obscure ones. For once, make fun of them together. Aurelia barely knows the mainstream stuff. And even then, she almost only ever sees a movie version. That sounds like me. Critique from someone who does not understand the story is worthless. I will gladly talk about the themes of a novel and what they mean with someone, provided that they comprehend what it was about. Girl, we're talking about mystery novels. This ain't that deep. Thank you for proving the point. There's a basis to have, and you lack it. One day you call them lowbrow garbage, the next say deep literary works. Make up your mind! Right. Like Schopenhauer always used to say, ain't got no time for the funnies. Are you done wasting my time? This is going precisely how I thought it would. We're all stuck here. You don't get to act like you've got places to be. Our physical space may be restricted, but that has no effect on the freedom of my mind. Your ill-advised contributions are keeping it tied down at the moment. Okay. Neat outfit, by the way. Thrills aren't really my style, unless you go full goth. But you put some thought into it. Can appreciate that. Are you even listening? Well, as fun as it sounds just to keep annoying him, I feel I need to do a little more to win this case. Ah well, maybe another time. Catch you later, Vicky. Finally. Do not ever call me that again. Might as well talk to a duo here. Hey there, Your Honor. What's up?
Hello, Mrs. Maristella. I'm merely thinking about these latest developments. The thought that Dr. Lee could still be alive is concerning indeed.
I know, right? Bet you didn't see that twist coming.
Certainly not, and I'm used to quite a lot.
So anyway, how much?
How much? What?
Money, of course. How much for a not guilty verdict?
I'm sorry. I don't think I heard you right.
How much for a...
And by that I mean I'm giving you a chance not to not attempt judge bribery, which is a crime, in case you weren't aware.
Alright, it was just a little test. There are so many rich guests here, so who knows? Some might think they can pay their way out of this.
There was a time in the past where I almost let myself getting compromised. After that experience, I've sworn never to let that happen again.
Something to do with Red White?
This trial will be as fair as it can be under these circumstances.
Seems genuine. I feel like I can trust he's not in on any scheme. So this whole thing is not totally rigged, at least. Good to know. See you next time. I interrupt the trial.
I'd ask you not to, but you look the type that would do it anyway.
Well, you got me figured out.
Well, I guess I'll simply hope it's relevant then.
He's barely bothered. Must be more used to this than I thought. The Preston family crest. Oof. I think it's meant to depict 4 diamonds in a hand. This looks pretty crude to the version she uses her avatar online. Must have gotten stitched together in a hurry. I guess it's impressive for that. No way she did that herself, of course. Probably got a servant to do it. Right now, I need more clues. No way she's gonna give me any. Can't swear a judge outside the trial. Let's go collect some evidence for that. Oh, I want to present everything, but a bit short on time, and you know, I can't save. That's the big problem. The temptation's too high. This lets me stop time and do telepathy. Good one. I know, right? I'm gonna threaten you. Confirm weapon, 1 shot. This is as clear as it can be. Another shot? No chance it's gonna be relevant. Nah, stuff like that is always super relevant. It means it's a complicated murder trick. We'll see. For what it's worth, she seems to be genuinely confused by this. Bad food. Eat something that leaves less of a mess. I'm vibing with you on this one, Chief. Imagine showing a photo, someone a photo of their mother's corpse. Couldn't be me. You sure? Uh-oh. I don't know what that means. Can you explain this? Explain what? Well, I took that along for self-defense. Liar. Gotta make her talk more about it. This is one of the auction items, right? It was. Your point? I thought you might be able to tell me more about it. You were cleaning all the items before they were sold. I was. Was there anything off about the knife or the sheath? I feel like 1 or 2 things are heckin' sketchy about it, such as a name that's written on the sheath. The name written on it? I mean, there's a note that says Shallow Ethics Insane Doctor. Not really, it was just a knife. Long blade, sharp edge, that's it. Not a very thorough cleaning if you didn't notice a note inside. Nope, it's obvious you never handled that blade. It's strange though. Why aren't your fingerprints on this? Should they? I didn't touch it after being done with it. That feels kinda overkill. When it comes to cleaning, thoroughness beats speed. You'll leave something behind with that careless attitude. Girl, you're straight up dropping things from your pockets. She's totally lying about the knife. But I don't got enough to call her enough. She never polished it. Does that mean her mother knew it wasn't going to be sold? Maybe that one dupe was right. This auction was rigged from the start. I'm about out of time actually. I don't know, because I have stuff to do, right? I'm not going to be able to record till tomorrow, I think. So I'm going to have to keep this tab open, and I hope it doesn't reset or anything. If it does, I'm going to have to replay all the way back to this point. I can make a test save just in case, but yeah, Blackrune, you should have split it into more things. And I'm sure the final part of A Web of Turnabout, I'm sure, well, I don't even think that's as long as this, but there was definitely some issues with load time for that. I hope no one has any issues with saves on that. But yeah, if you're going to make a trial, guys, keep it short, please, for me. Anyway, since it's, yeah, I'll probably just leave this here and make a separate video now. So, see you later.